Hello, my name is Moshe Mikanovsky, and today at Product Drive, I would like to talk with you a bit about all of these terms that we're hearing: product-led, project-led, sales-led, solution-led. What does all of that mean? And can we actually clear some of the noise? So before I start, I want to share with you a few quick facts about myself. I'm originally from Israel, and these days I'm living and working in Toronto, Canada. If you are familiar with this computer, this is a digital VAX. So this was the first computer that I worked on for my first job. So if you're familiar with that, that might mean that you know how old I am. And in the past 10 years, I've been working in product management, and for the last 6 months, I've been a co-host of the podcast Product for Product, where we talked about products that product managers are using. So, first of all, let me introduce what is it that I'm going to talk about. We want to build a product. Okay, we have ideas, we have some people that want to sell it, we have some clients or some users that we think will buy it. Now what? How do we first manage it exactly? So this is where project management and product management come into the picture, and this is the first thing that we need to understand. What's the difference between project management and product management? So we will talk about that, and we will do a bit of comparison between the two. Then we will look into places where things are led through sales. Is that the right thing to do? And things that are led through technology, is that the right thing to do? And we will conclude, or that will be at least my conclusion, and I hope that you share the same opinion with me, that the right way to lead our product management efforts are through a product-led. And we'll talk about what does that mean exactly. So first of all, what is project management? Projects are, everyone has different projects that they're working on, and projects are usually temporary. They have a start, they have an end, and once they end, that's it, the project is done. Usually there is a set of inputs that we have to have in order to go into the project, and then a series of tasks, and at the end we want to have some specific output. So is it a unique product that we want to create, or service, or some type of a results that we want to create? A project will usually have a process. This is one of the common process that defined how process might run, but there might be variations for that. But usually, like we said, there is a start, there is an end, and in between you have to plan, you have to execute, you have to monitor and control it some way, and then at the end you close it up. Projects will always have the resources that are working on the project, the time that is allowed us for the project, or we are setting up for the project when we define how long the project is going to be, and then the cost, what is the budget for the project. And then we have to manage different things. We have to manage risks and mitigate them. We have to manage stakeholders. We have to manage the scope of the project. Now, what is product management? If we try to compare it with project, which we'll do next, first of all, let's learn what product management is all about. So a product is an article or a substance that is manufactured or defined for sales. Most of us are probably here talking about digital products. Then we have to scope what the problem is that our users are trying to solve. We have lots of ideas for problems and for solutions, so we have to manage them somehow. We have to prioritize between all of these ideas. We have to experiment to find what really is the right solution, or what are the right things that we can solve, and what people are going to use. And then we have to make some critical decisions between them. We have to find a market fit, and then finally we have to continue improving on it, because a product really never ends. It's always, there is a learning, we build it, then we measure what we found, and then we continue learning new things based on those measurements, and we build new things. So it really never ends. Now let's compare the two. Let's see what's the difference really between project management and product management of our product. So first of all, the project is internal facing. We have to deal with our internal stakeholders, with the timing, with our resources, with our own risks. And usually that's what it's going to be. It's going to be internal facing. The rest of the world, like the users, wouldn't really care much about that. While product is really external facing, because we are building a product for our users. We're not building it really for ourselves, unless we are the users, of course. And even when we're talking about our own stakeholders, in some cases there will be users as well, because they might use part of the product, or they will be the main users of the product. But it's really about making the product viable for our organization. So at the end of the day, it's really all about external facing. The second thing we have to, in project management, what we are really managing is the releases of different features, the releases of different products, the go-to-market. So this is more about release management, where in product management we have to come up with a strategy. How are we going to get into solving a specific problem? What steps we have to go and do that? What are the MVP of the product? So and then other different versions of that. So in general, it's all about building a strategy. And then the project will have a specific duration, because like we said before, there is always a start and an end. So it's a one-time endeavor, and if we want to add more features or build new things after the project ends, we have to really start a new project and start from the beginning. The product, it really never ends. It doesn't have a specific duration. It is there is a life cycle to the product. So we always talk about MVP and other type of milestones that we want to reach. But in general, products always continue living, and we look at examples out there for different products that we're using, like Office Suite for Microsoft. These products exist for many, many years, and they've gone through so many different iterations and life cycles, different new versions, etc. It's still the same product solving the same problem, but it's really an ongoing thing that they always develop. We have to also look into what is the risk management that we have to do. In project management, we are talking about the delivery. So we're always talking about what showstoppers we might have, what are we going to have enough resources, or are we going to have enough budget to pay for what we're trying to do, etc. So these are always the risks we're talking about. Sometimes it's what comes before another thing, so we want to make sure that there is some critical path in there, and we can actually make things happen in the right order. With product management, it's not really about that. It's more about the market risk management. So we have to look into, do we know the market? Do we know the personas of the users that are going to use it? Do we know, do we have actually a market? Is there a problem that we're trying to solve that will fit the market? And is there going to be a product market fit? And all of that then also ties together with the other risks that we're trying to solve when we build a product. Are we creating a value to the users? Is what we're building even feasible to build? Is it going to be usable enough for the users? And is it going to be viable for the organization? And last but not least, we're talking about outputs versus outcomes. Projects always have outputs. They don't really have any specific outcomes. If we are successful with making those outputs, we are successful. So we deliver the features, but it doesn't really mean anything if the feature is going to be successful really or not, if people are going to use it or not. And that's really the outcomes of a project. We were successful delivering the features, and now we can celebrate. With a product, it's not like that, because we don't really care about whether we deliver a feature. We have to care about, did we create a value to the users? So only after we experiment and we measure that, we can find out, okay, did we came up with the outcome that we're trying to get? Next, let's talk a bit about sales-led and technology-led, or as I call it in the title of this presentation, solution-led. It's really the same thing for this presentation. So some organizations are more heavy on the sales, and some of our organizations are more heavy on the technology. And there are some telltales that we have to look at and see what does that really mean, and is it healthy for our organization and for building a product and being successful in building a product. So in sales-led, you will find a lot of times that we first find the client. So someone is going out there and selling them a solution, and the solution doesn't really exist yet, or it's not exactly fitting their need, and there is only that one feature that they need, or a few sets of features that they need. But we find the client first. In a technology-led or solution-led, we find the technology first. So someone knows a specific technology, there is a hype about a specific technology, or there is a trend like bots or AI or something like that, and they would really want to build a solution with that. And then what happens, you also look into who are the stakeholders and what is their strength in their organization. In sales-led, you will see that many of the stakeholders, or some of the strong sales stakeholders, are coming from sales, and they're selling something, and they're pushing specific clients and specific features. In technology, you will see tech stakeholders, people that come from different research or different type of technology that they're familiar with, or they really want to build something with. You will see also in startups, or not even startups, but even more established companies or growth companies, that the founders or CEO are either sales focused or technology focused. And then what will happen is that in sales-led, you will see a one-off feature that will be developed for a specific client, and then no one else is going to use that, or you have to create a whole set of configuration buttons to actually turn on and off these type of features. Where in technology-led, you will see that features are built because the technology enables that, and this technology that everyone is excited about or everyone is pushing forwards to do is used for that. But this feature necessarily may not even be useful by the users, or maybe they are overkill. Maybe there are better ways, better technologies out there that these specific stakeholders don't really know about, or they don't really care about because they want to use this specific technology. So what happens in these type of organizations, you will find many times that there is a weak product market fit, either because there are so many features out there that it's hard to say who is really the market. We're trying to fit anyone that will pay us to build something and to get the next license or the next sale, big sale. With the technology one, because we want to build with the specific technology, it may not solve the actual problem that people are using, or the technology is way too early for this specific problem, or maybe our competitors have solved it in a way that really doesn't require this new technology. And there is a lot of time short-term gains instead of long-term gains. So with the sales-led, we are getting a lot of maybe immediate monies that are very helpful for organization to grow, but at the end of the day, we are getting a product that really doesn't fit a lot of people, and very hard for us to sell it to a very focused group of users. Where with technology-led, we might have built an amazing technology, but then at the end of the day, if no one's really is willing to use it or to pay for it, then again, we usually fail, and the long term is probably not there for us. So really, what's the proper or the better type of organization that we're looking at to build our products in really a proper way that will be successful? The way I see it is this is really product-led, but not just product-led growth, but product-led for the entire organization. And this equation that I put over here is that if we know what the problem is, or if we find the problem and validated it, and then we use product management methodology, we can become really product-led. So let's look into that for a bit. For the problem itself, we have to find a specific problem and to verify it, because without finding the problem and verifying it, we may not solve any problem, and then no one is going to buy our product. We have to look at who are these personas that having this problem, and these are the people that we're actually verifying the problem with. We have risks that we want to mitigate in this problem, and these are risks related to, like I mentioned before, are we going to create a value in our solution for this problem? Is it feasible for us to actually build it? What we're building, is it going to be useful for them, usable for them, and is it going to be viable for our organization? Can we really support it and make some money from that? And then we also don't want to create new problems with the solution we are creating. So we have to sometimes fix the problems that we are creating with that solution. And that's really part of that risk, not creating new problems for the users. But if we do, then how do we solve those as well? And then we talk about, what product management is all about. So if we focus our entire organization on what is a problem that we're trying to solve and how do we do product management, then we can really become product-led. And product-led is, like I said before, not just about the growth of our sales or the growth of our community or the clients that are using it, but it's about everything. The product is in the center of really everything that we do. So sales is marketing we do via the product, but we also do support and client experience and client success, and we get the voice of the client via the product. So everything that we're trying to do around the organization, we should really try to do via the product. Then we have to find a product market fit, and product market fit is not always an easy thing to do, but once we find that, it's much easier for us to actually sell the product, because we will sell it to the people that it fits for, not to everyone else that wants something new for us to develop. So at the end of the day, really, if we know what the problem is and we know the personas of the people that has this problem, and we can find them, we can definitely go and sell it directly to them. So in conclusion, let's not build for the sake of building or just to make money. We want to build a product to solve problems to users. And to do that, we have to focus on the problem, and we have to focus on how do we find the right solution for them, the right problem, and not to focus about just selling or just building solutions. And we need to discover the right solution for that, which is our product. Look for these telltales and anti-patterns in the organizations. I listed quite a bit of them, and I'm sure there are more, but these telltales can actually give us a clue to where we need to put more focus towards the right places. Like, are we really selling to people that are not really supposed to use the product, or are we just building technology that is fun to build? Or maybe we are just doing project management. We get features from everywhere, we just deliver them, and we continue to the next one without really finding any outcomes. And that's the end of my presentation. I would love to connect with you. Here are some details about where you can connect with me. They're on my website, mikanovsky.com, on LinkedIn, where I'm quite active, so by all means, just connect with me. And of course, the podcast that I co-host with my friend Matt Green, Product for Product, where we talk about the product stack for product managers. Just search on Apple Podcast or on Spotify. Thank you very much.